Hey, welcome to Increase Podcast. I am your host, Alpheus Gibbs, and I just want to say thank you for joining me. This is episode 2 of our first season of the year. Our last episode, we talked about just not really doing a New Year's resolution. And one of the things that really stood out to some of my audience was just really being consistent and setting proper goals. And so today's episode, I want to deal with something, take piggyback off of it, but want to go a little bit further. And with that, I want to talk about, do you trust your voice? That's right. Do you trust your voice? Do you trust not only your voice, but do you trust in your own ability? One of the things that is I found in today's society is that we know how to do a lot of things. Technology has given us the ability to kind of just do anything that we can even dream up in our minds. And if you can't right now create it, then just give it a little bit of time and you'll be able to create that thing that you've dreamed about. But I found that most creatives really don't trust their voice until they really get around those who are creative just like they are. They have to get to a place where they not only trust their voice, but they also trust in their own ability. So you may be sitting right now, you're in the beginning of January, you're finding yourself at a place where you know that you want to do better and do more than what you did before or the previous year, but you really don't know how to do it. You don't know how to execute it. So I would suggest that you find a coach, find someone who is doing what it is that you want to do, and kind of shadow them, follow them, see how they operate, how they flow, but not just how they flow. Kind of get into their head. Ask them questions such as how's their mindset when they're getting ready to create? Is there something that they always find themselves doing? And the reason why I'm saying all of this is so that as you begin to get all of this information, you'll find out that they have a rhythm and a routine. And because they have that rhythm and that routine, it gives them something sort of like a pillar that enables them to trust in the process, trust in their voice, trust in their creative flow. Not just because they've been doing it for so many years, but they learned from watching others and learning that they have a tick or they have a certain way of doing things, a certain rhythmic pattern, if you will, that allows them and gives them access to being able to do what it is that they do. Quite certainly, they're afraid. They're afraid of how people are going to judge them, or even afraid of if it's not going to turn out the way that they have it mapped out in their minds. But whatever the case is, they have gotten to the place where they trust their voice. They trust that what they're saying truly comes not only from a good place, but something that they themselves would do. They trust in the fact that they have the expertise and the know how to do what it is that they do. A lot of times, you'll find that people who are professionals really don't like saying that they're professionals or even experts, despite the fact that they have education, certifications, and many years of experience. Quite possibly the reason why is because they've learned not through their triumphs, but they actually learn through their failures, or what people would perceive to be failures. Oftentimes, what we call a failure is really a learned way or a way of doing things that didn't really pan out, but they also learned something else within the process. It is a way in which the human body, the human mind, can create a thing, and in the midst of creating a thing, begin to learn to create something else. And so, if the first thing doesn't work out, then it's okay because you learned not only about what you were trying to create, but you also learned more about yourself. I really believe that we oftentimes mishandle our failures. We mishandle how we look, how our outlook is on life. And because of it, it creates many unnecessary setbacks. But if we truly embrace our quote unquote failures and really begin to allow ourselves to look at them as what they were, which were learning experiences, we will be able to move that much further ahead. I want to encourage you today, rather, encourage you for the year, to not just look at the squiggliness of your voice, the shakiness of as you're creating, or even the nervousness that you feel when you possibly are standing in front of a crowd of people. But look at what it is that you're about to learn. Not about the people around you or even the project that you're working on, but even yourself. The human body shares many different hidden secrets that if we really paid attention to it, we would begin to learn more about ourselves and then begin to embrace and love ourselves in a higher and a greater way. For example, how does your body process stressful moments? Not those moments when you are fight or flight, but those moments when you are nervous because you're around someone that you like. Where does your body allow this funny feeling to affect? What area of your body, begins to move differently when you're around people who make you nervous? They make you nervous maybe because they're smart or maybe because their ability to do a thing and you desire to do it. What other areas in your body becomes affected? And so with those little tools, that kind of a little spark, you truly begin to be able to process the fact that quite possibly you don't trust in your voice or you don't trust in your ability because you haven't learned how your body processes stress. You haven't learned how your body processes different environments. For surely, just like a fish needs water, for a fish can never climb a tree, it's the same way even with your body. It's the same way with you. You thrive in certain areas, in certain arenas. And when you learn those places, then you're able to gravitate more toward those areas so that you then can become your greater self. Steer away from those areas that cause you unnecessary stress. Yes, we could change a few things here and there to maybe increment or increase your abilities in those areas, maybe between 1 to 3%. But why do that when you can really and truly begin to excel even the more in those areas where you're strongest, in those environments wherein you thrive the best? For some people, stressful environments bring out the best in them, while in others, it causes them so much anxiety and stress that they no longer are able to function. For some, the mundaneness of doing one or two tasks over and over again causes them more stress than if they were in an environment where they had to really think on their feet. You see, we all must learn our areas and our environments, our areas of expertise, our areas wherein we thrive the most. And then we also need to look into those areas and those places wherein we could possibly do some little bit of increase. I'm saying all of this because oftentimes we spend so much time watching others that we really haven't learned about ourselves. Now, make no mistake, earlier I shared with you that if you want to start a business or you're creative and you're really trying to get your feet into the door of things, to go and begin to shadow another person who is creative, who are doing some of the things that you want to do, so that you can begin to learn some of the patterns of them and quite possibly discover them within yourself. And so that is why I share what I share with you. But make no mistake, you don't want to shadow a person to the point where you begin to try to be a mini them or a number two or whatever. You want to follow and learn of those patterns so that you can now begin to look inwardly within yourself and learn of your own patterns. Learn of how you maneuver and how you move. This year, let it be a year of discovery for you. Let it be a time in which you truly begin to love yourself again. Let it be a time and a space wherein you allow yourself the ability to fail, whether you fail forward or backward, but at least you've tried something, you've pursued after something that otherwise you would not have done. I believe, personally, that everyone has pockets of genius, and that if we are given the proper tools and the know how, that we could create and do anything and go anywhere. You yourself have been restricted quite possibly because of the culture that you're around. They don't support some of the things that you desire to do. Or maybe their own fears are being pushed off on you. But whatever the case is, or whichever direction you so desire to go, you want to make sure that you are doing what is best and proper for you. Living a life of regret is something that speeds up the process in which I call death. It speeds it up because you spend so much time thinking about what you could have done and what you should have done that you never even get a chance to look at the life that you still have left and go from there. No matter how old you are, how young you are, no matter how you may feel, there are always things that you can accomplish in life. And you may not feel like you're at the age where you can go back to college, or you may not feel like you're at the age where you can pursue certain careers. But I can tell you from many accounts and examples, if you were to even go online and look them up, that there are countless people who started late in life, some started early in life, or whatever, but they were able to accomplish many of the goals and dreams that they so desired to do. We don't need another New Year's resolution, but what you need is a plan. Map out your year. Map it out to pull yourself out of your comfort zone. Map it out to pull yourself from a place of mediocrity and really go after the goals. Go for it all. Again, if you fail, at least you tried something. At least you went after what you've been dreaming of doing. And who knows, you may even inspire someone else who was watching you secretly and encourage them and even, provoke them to do something in their life that they never thought was even possible in theirs. Every endeavor isn't going to make you filthy rich. And that truly shouldn't even be the goal. The goal is really to fulfill, dare I say it, a cliche maybe, but your purpose in life. To truly go from a place wherein you're afraid and you're timid and you're shy to right up there with the greats. You never know until you try. You never know what you're able to accomplish until you go out and you do it. Hey, if nothing else, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're watching this on Facebook, or whether you're listening to this on one of the many streaming services, I want to say thank you for joining me on Increase. I hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of your week.